What's up, YouTube? He is back with another video. Today we're gonna be watching. He posted a fake job ad to lure an 18-year-old. What he did next was pure evil. Nah, that's crazy. Don't forget to hit that like button, smash that subscribe button. That's crazy. Yeah, this is a red flag already. That's crazy. Whoa.
Woman in the black hoodie.
Her
name is Destiny
now?
Williams. She is on her way to a job interview she believes will help her save enough money for cosmetology school.
Damn.
Now pay attention to the man with his arm resting on her shoulder. His name is Marcus Patterson. He is the one who posted the fake job advertisement online. Within 30 minutes, her phone would be turned off forever. This was not an interview. It was an abduction. At 8 p.m. on September 18th, 2 hours after Destiny Williams was due home, her grandmother made the first of many calls to her granddaughter's phone. Each call went directly to voicemail. The worry that had been simmering for hours turned into a formal report to the Chicago Police Department just before midnight. The dispatcher logged the details. An 18-year-old female, no history of running away, last seen heading to a job interview in the suburbs. To the police, the initial facts fit a familiar pattern for someone her age, and the case was initially handled as a potential runaway. But the official classification stood in stark contrast to the person Destiny Williams was.
Like, what if they really
raised on the
abducted?
South Side in Inglewood, she was the steady hand in a fractured family. While her mother battled addiction and her father served a sentence at Stateville Correctional Center, Destiny lived and cared for her grandmother. She was known as responsible and quiet, a recent high school graduate who worked part-time at Walmart. Her focus was singular: save enough money for tuition at Pivot Point Academy to study cosmetology. Her Instagram page wasn't for socializing, it was a portfolio of hair and makeup tutorials, a testament to her ambition. Her family and friends knew she would not just leave. While police processed the paperwork, Destiny's best friend, Janae, began her own search, posting Destiny's picture across social media and messaging anyone who might have seen her. Her grandmother insisted to the responding officers that Destiny was not a runaway. She was a planner, a dreamer who was on the cusp of building the life she wanted. She had an interview with a company called Elevate Marketing Solutions. She had an address. She had a name.
I don't ever trust those type of businesses. You know, the businesses on Indeed where it's like you make 1 to 5K, or you make, I'm pretty sure maybe she did fall for that. But like, you know, the ones that text you and like, hey, these, that sounds like their names. That genuinely sounds like the type of name they put.
But investigators were about to discover that the first clue in the case was the first piece of a calculated lie. The man who called himself Mark was a phantom built from digital illusions. The job posting Destiny Williams found in late August on Indeed.com was his masterpiece of deception. Titled Personal Assistant and Social Media Manager, the listing for Elevate Marketing Solutions used professional language, promised a competitive wage of $22 per hour, and listed a legitimate-looking Chicago office address. It was designed to...
This sound about real as shit. I ain't gonna hold you. I'll fall for this shit too.
Attract ambitious young people just like Destiny.
I can't even say
when she applied, including a link to her Instagram to showcase her skills, Mark's response was swift and professional. Their correspondence, later recovered from Destiny's email account, showed a series of normal interactions. Mark conducted a preliminary interview over the phone, asking standard questions about her experience and goals. He spoke convincingly about the company's clients and growth. He built a foundation of trust, brick by digital brick. When it was time for an in-person interview, he had a ready-made excuse for the location. Their main office was undergoing renovations, so they would meet at a satellite office in a Calumet City executive suite building. He sent her the address and arranged to pick her up from a nearby gas station, explaining that the office entrance was tricky to find. It was only after her disappearance.
Nah, bro, that would have been a red flag. Cause why I can't come in my own car? This nigga trying to trap you. Now, to be fair though, like, who really goes into a job interview like, oh, I'm about to walk into a trap? That's like, damn. I ain't gonna lie, this is a smart ass plan, bro. I don't like it. That's too smart, bro.
Investigators began pulling at the threads of this story. They found that Elevate Marketing Solutions had no business registration, no employees, and no clients. The professional website her friend found was a digital ghost created just a few months prior. The executive suite building on Torrance Avenue had no record of the company ever being a tenant. The entire operation was a carefully constructed trap. Police would soon discover that Destiny was not the first woman Mark had tried to lure with this scheme, but she was the first one who hadn't walked away. On the afternoon of September 18th, Destiny Williams followed the instructions Marcus Patterson had given her. She took the CTA Red Line south to the 95th Street station and then transferred to a bus heading toward Calumet City. Her final destination was the Shell gas station parking lot Patterson had designated as their meeting point. At approximately 2:47 p.m., the station's security cameras captured Patterson's black Nissan Altima pulling in. A few moments later, the footage showed him and Destiny walking together across the asphalt. It was the last time any camera would record her. Her grandmother expected her home by 6 p.m. By 8 p.m., after unanswered calls went straight to voicemail, a deep sense of dread had set in. She contacted the Chicago Police Department and filed a missing persons report. The department, however, initially classified the case based on the victim's age and the lack of any immediate signs of foul play.
I like how they keep saying that. We need to hold their ass accountable if anything happens to her, bro. Y'all the ass be talking about some runaway. No, nigga.
Destiny Williams, 18, was officially considered a runaway. This procedural decision, while standard, created a critical delay. The investigation did not begin with the urgency of an abduction. Meanwhile, Destiny's digital footprint had come to an abrupt end. Cell phone records would later show that her phone was powered off or disabled at 3:15 p.m., just 28 minutes after she was seen on camera with Patterson. In that short window of time, in or near that parking lot, she had vanished completely. While her family pleaded with authorities to investigate the job interview as a potential lead, the official case file sat in a queue, waiting for evidence to prove that Destiny hadn't just walked away on her own. The official runaway theory collapsed under the weight of digital evidence unearthed not by police, but by Destiny's best friend, Janae.
Frantically best friend, bro, because at this point, if it wasn't for her, if she doesn't die, hopefully not, she would have died, bro. But the police ain't doing shit, gang. Run away my ass, gang.
Searching for clues,
you should at least try, even if it is a runaway.
Instagram account.
I just seen a video yesterday where a runaway, and they was chasing her down like, I mean, she was a minor, but they were chasing her down and fucking ripping people's dreads out and shit that had nothing to do with it. And now they just not giving a fuck. Crazy work.
And found the entire history of her communication with Mark. She immediately turned over the login information to detectives. This provided the investigation with its first tangible leads: the company name, the email address, and the phone number the suspect used. Investigators quickly confirmed what Janae and Destiny's grandmother already suspected. A check of state business records showed Elevate Marketing Solutions did not exist. The website associated with the company had been created only a few months earlier using a service that masked the owner's identity. When police traced the phone number Mark had used, it came back as a prepaid burner phone, activated shortly before he first contacted Destiny and disconnected shortly after her disappearance. It was a digital dead end, designed to be untraceable.
What the fuck?
The real breakthrough came from the email address. While the account itself was anonymous, the IP address, a unique identifier for a computer's location, was not. Cybercrime analysts traced the origin of Mark's emails to a public library in Gary, Indiana. This shifted the geographic scope of the investigation across state lines.
Detectives obtained. He knew not even to use his computer. What the hell?
Security footage from the library, and on it they saw a man matching the description from the gas station video using the public computers on multiple dates. They now had a clearer image of their suspect, but still no name. The discovery also revealed a chilling pattern. Investigators found similar fake job postings in Indianapolis and Milwaukee, all linked to the same methods. They were no longer searching for one missing girl. They were hunting a serial predator.
While the digital trail pointed investigators toward Indiana, the most critical clue came from the physical world, the gas station parking lot in Calumet City. Detectives meticulously reviewed hours of security footage from every available angle, searching for the vehicle the suspect had used. They found it, a well-maintained black Nissan Altima. Although the man had parked out of the primary camera's direct view, another angle captured his license plate as he entered the lot. A query through the National Motor Vehicle Database provided the name they had been searching for. The car was registered to Marcus Patterson of Atlanta, Georgia. The name initially meant nothing to investigators in Chicago, A background check revealed a man with no criminal history. He was 34 years old, employed in warehouse management, married, and the father of 2 young daughters. On paper, he was an ordinary suburban family man.
I knew this couldn't be no thug, bro. I knew it couldn't be no thug, bro. This is too smart and planned out. I knew it, bro.
Completely disconnected from the dark underworld of abduction and human trafficking. He was the last person anyone would suspect. When the FBI and Atlanta Police Department contacted Patterson's wife, the facade of his double life began to crumble. She was completely stunned. She confirmed that her husband was currently away from home, traveling in the Midwest for what she believed were legitimate work contracts in logistics. His trips had become more frequent over the past 9 months, she explained, but she had no reason to suspect anything was wrong. He was, in her eyes, a loving husband and father. With her statement, the investigation now had a clear target. The digital ghost from the Gary Library and the man on the gas station footage had a name, a family, and a home address. The hunt was no longer for a shadow. It was for Marcus Patterson. In early November, the investigation culminated in the quiet suburbs of Stone Mountain, Georgia. Federal agents and local police arrested Marcus Patterson at his family home without incident. The man taken into custody seemed a world away from the predator they had been hunting. He was a suburban father whose neighbors knew him only as a quiet family man. Investigators had expected to find evidence of a trafficking kingpin. Instead, during his interrogation, Patterson offered a confession that twisted the entire narrative of the case. He did not deny his role in Destiny Williams' disappearance. However, he claimed he was not a willing participant, but a coerced pawn in a much larger criminal organization. Patterson explained that years prior, a severe gambling addiction had left him with an $85,000 debt to a
I need to stop sports betting. No.
man named Donnell Cruz, a formidable figure who operated between Chicago and Detroit. When Patterson couldn't pay, Cruz offered him an alternative. The debt would be forgiven if he agreed to recruit young women for Cruz's trafficking operation. His job was to create the fake profiles, gain their trust, and deliver them to a designated location. Patterson insisted to detectives that he had tried to back out, but Cruz had made it clear that failure to cooperate would result in the murder of his wife and 2 young daughters. He claimed he had only delivered Destiny because his own family's life.
Damn, I told you this shit sound like a movie, bro. What do we do in this situation? See, he doesn't sound like a thug. It sounds too planned and smart, and like, he don't sound like somebody that's just doing shit. But what are we doing in this situation, man? I mean, you know me, personally, after I get down a certain amount of money, bro, I just give up betting again. 85K is crazy. But you know how that gets you, bro? You try to win all your money back. It's your pride and ego, bro. You try to win all your money back and shit. You're cooked. You're fried. Just play to win or some shit. Don't try to get your money back, because when you start betting racks and racks and it don't work, you're fucking fried.
Lives were under direct threat. To prove his story, and in a desperate bid for leniency, he gave investigators the one piece of information they needed to blow the case wide open: the address of an abandoned steel mill off Broadway Avenue in Gary, Indiana. He told them it was the central hub for Cruz's entire operation. Acting on the information provided by Marcus Patterson, a joint task force of FBI agents and the Gary Police Department organized a raid. The target was the abandoned steel mill off Broadway Avenue, a sprawling, decaying structure that was a relic of the city's industrial past. In late November, tactical teams converged on the location. They breached the building and found a fully operational human trafficking hub hidden within the rusting shell of the factory. The conditions were grim, designed to hold people against their will.
That nigga dead when you go to prison. Fuck.
Inside, law enforcement found and rescued 7 young women. They were between the ages of 18 and 23 from various cities across the Midwest, all lured by similar false promises. The discovery was a major victory for the task force, confirming Patterson's confession about Donnell Cruz's criminal enterprise and leading to the immediate rescue of multiple victims. The rescued women were taken to a secure facility to receive medical care and begin interviews with victim specialists. But for the investigators focused on the case that started it all, the raid ended in failure. As they accounted for each of the rescued women, the grim reality became clear. Destiny Williams was not among them.
That's just the new women? Found 7 new women. That means, and he's been doing this for 9 months. So if they've been doing this for like 3 years or so, we talking about hundreds of women in a month.
News was a devastating blow to her family, extinguishing the last flicker of hope that she might be found alive. The raid had successfully dismantled the dangerous trafficking ring, but it had also turned a missing person case into a probable homicide investigation. The question was no longer if Destiny had been taken, but what had happened to her after Marcus Patterson drove her away from that parking lot. With Destiny Williams still missing, the full pressure of the federal investigation turned on the men apprehended in the Gary warehouse raid. Patterson's confession had given them the trafficking ring, but he did not know Destiny's final fate. Investigators began the systematic interrogation of Donnell Cruz and his lieutenants, leveraging the threat of life sentences to break their code of silence. Under the intense pressure, one of Cruz's senior associates finally confessed. His story erased any hope that Destiny might have escaped. He admitted that the plan had gone wrong from the very beginning. When Destiny got into Marcus Patterson's car in the Calumet City parking lot, she quickly realized that the situation was not what it seemed. She fought back with everything she had. In the violent struggle that took place inside the vehicle, Destiny was critically injured. The associate explained that a panicked Patterson, never intending for things to turn violent, immediately called Cruz for instructions. Cruz, displaying a chilling lack of concern, simply dispatched another member of his crew to the location to handle the problem. Destiny Williams was killed in or near that parking lot on the afternoon of September 18th. The confession provided the horrifying how and why of her disappearance, confirming she had been murdered within minutes of being abducted. But it left one final critical question unanswered, both for the investigators and her grieving family. Where was her body? Guided by the detailed confession from Donnell Cruz's associate, authorities launched a search in early December. The search area was a desolate stretch of woodland off Interstate 94, just across the state line between New Buffalo and Bridgeman, Michigan. It was there, nearly 3 months after she vanished from the gas station parking lot, that investigators found the body of Destiny Williams. The cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma and strangulation, confirming the violent struggle described by the informant. She had been left there since the day of her abduction. The case that began with a missing person report concluded with the complete dismantling of a multi-state trafficking ring. Marcus Patterson, the man who presented himself as a corporate professional, was charged with kidnapping resulting in death and conspiracy. His cooperation saved him from a potential death penalty, but he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Donnell Cruz, the ringleader who preyed on Patterson's desperation, was arrested in Detroit and also received a life sentence.
What the fuck?
4 other men connected to...
For? This nigga ordered hits. He ordered murders. The nigga ordered fucking... What?
The operation were convicted on various federal charges, effectively shuttering the entire criminal enterprise.
That nigga should have got the death penalty. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Y'all let me know what y'all think about the video. Y'all have a great day. Deuces.